One of my previously high-performing leaders is struggling with our AI transformation. They built their reputation on deep expertise, but now they need to work alongside AI and think more strategically. How do I help them transition without losing them?
So, I think this is, classic change management 101, Amy, where, we've rewarded, if you think about it to date, expertise, and especially certain depth of expertise. Engineering expertise has been in demand, software engineering expertise, et cetera. And the reality is now we have a tool in a really good way that kind of evens out the playing field across the board. So I think this is one where I have a mentee. This reminds me a little bit of this. So I have a mentee who 2 years ago, I've been on his case. He's a software engineer around using AI enablement in his code and QA, et cetera, et cetera. And I would check in with him every 6 months, and it was no, it's not so good. It's buggy. I waste more time than me doing it. All of that. I said, great. Is it getting better? Yeah, but not so good. Okay, give me a grade. D plus. Okay. 6 months I would check again. No, still you're wrong. Give me a grade. C minus. And it's now where he's all of a sudden like, yeah, this thing is pretty good at making me a better software engineer. And, we then played the what happens down the road. So yeah. I would suggest, Amy, a version of that where being very direct with this executive of a bit of that framing old world, new world. We're stepping in, we're in the new world, 1 foot in, early days. So not too late, obviously, to kind of catch up and be in the forefront, but there's no going back. So you can't make them use it, but kind of time's ticking. And if you don't, it's going to be harder in a year, 2 or 3. So I think framing it in ways that are both direct, but somewhat accurate. And this is, I think, what a lot of the leaders should do on this transformation of the human capital, which is there is no choice. We're heading to this, and if you don't, our competitors will use these tools to do things in better, faster, cheaper ways.
I think you make an incredible point there, which is we've never seen improvement happen so fast. It's never been like this, right? So it is true in the past that, you could have tried a tool and said, no, doesn't work, and be right for a while. And now it doesn't last, right? Yeah.
I completely agree. This is a classic change management problem. And I always encourage us, whenever you're faced with resistance to change specifically, that really when you dig deeper, it's fear, right? It's fear because it's embedded in the question. The person has deep expertise, and so there's a recognition that, hey, AI is going to replace me and all of that. And so I don't think that you resolve fear with a hammer, but I do think you do resolve it with a little bit, more tough love in some way. And so some of the tactics that I would encourage at this point would be to pair this senior leader with a bit of a reverse mentor, somebody who's eager and anxious to learn from their expertise, but also really inclined to try new tools and new things. And so you could, sort of pair up that energy and help forge a path together. And then the other thing I would do for this leader is make the problem bigger. Instead of telling them they need to use AI on something they're already really good at, ask them to help with something that's new, that has no preconceived path, or that is something that they've never gotten a chance to get to, and give them permission to get to it if they include AI with that, so that, again, you're not putting more pressure on the area of fear, but you're building a scaffolding to the opportunity.